One of the key pieces in this push to provide more support is the teacher's edition that has not existed in the past. And so with the teacher's edition, a teacher will receive the book and they'll see the student pages, and then in the margins are all of the wonderful resources that a teacher can use to help plan a lesson or to help inform discussion at the point of use. That if there's a key passage, here's a teaching idea, here's what you can do with that passage. If it's a piece where you need to, at this moment or before reading, you need to build context, that's called out. There are also call outs for the additional resources. We have a teacher flash drive that on which teachers can find rubrics, student-ready handouts, the tools that a teacher would need or that would at least be helpful when working with all these amazing materials. So I think the bottom line is that we are trying to give teachers an opportunity to feel confident, to feel comfortable with all of these texts. And because we know that when a teacher feels comfortable and confident, that translates to student success, because then that teacher can really help bring the students up to another level. And it's hard to do that when you're terrified and when you're
and
uncomfortable and when you feel like you're flying solo and just winging it, and
also teaching 4 other courses maybe,
right,
with giant classes.
Right.
And
right.
Yeah,
so
right.
So, and we know that time is the most precious thing for teachers, and I think anyone who teaches this course falls in love with it, and they want to do so much with the course. But you can't do everything. And so I think that's also part of it. Is we've provided before every chapter, we've provided an overview of the chapter, an overview of every text. So if a teacher wants to sort of pick and choose, they've got that information there that will help them pick and choose. But we also have a pathway through the chapter that will provide at least one, well, really more, but one main pathway that gives the teacher an idea. Here's this book and it's got so much in it. How do I get from point A to point B? And then in addition to that main pathway, we have notes, I believe whispers, right? The whispers of an expert teacher was the terminology, that give some ideas. If you have strong students, or if your students are really doing well with this, here's another approach or idea you can use. Or if you have weaker students, if your students are struggling in this moment, here's something else you can do. So we've got that for every chapter, and then we also have lesson plans for every central and classic text, and it's formatted the same way. So we have, again, the Zakaria piece. Here's a lesson that you can use, and here's some ideas to differentiate depending on where your students are, because we also know that teachers jump around in the thematic chapters, right? That sometimes one year you may want to start with the education chapter, but another year you may want to begin with environment. So we've tried to structure the support so that the teacher has the most amount of freedom, and yet we don't just say, here, good luck, right? That there is some guidance,
suggestions,
that teachers can use to help plan their year, plan their 9 weeks.